So you've done all of this work now to build your remarketing grid. You've got some ad groups up and running. You've got some remarketing ads running, but don't stop there. How else can you use all of this work that you've now done? Well, what else is going to improve results? So think about the type of ads that you're using. So many businesses I still see only using static ads. So like a MedRec, for instance, 300 pixels wide, 250 pixels high, or they might just have, the leaderboards, 728 by 90, and various other standard IAB sizes of ads, because a lot of creative agencies will churn those out, or worse actually is one style of ad in about 14 different sizes, and they'll charge a fortune of like, here's this pack of all of these different ads. It's not really a bunch of different ads, it's really just one ad in a bunch of different sizes. I would much rather have half a dozen completely different ads all in the same size, and typically we'll start with those MedRecs 300 by 250. That's the best trade-off between performance and available inventory. In other words, you'll get your ads to show a lot and you'll get decent results. There are better ads or better ad sizes if you think about just pure performance. One's called a half page, so it's 300 wide by 600 high. That's better from a performance point of view, almost always. 336 by 280 is often better, but the inventory for those two sizes is typically a tenth of the MedRec. So yes, they'll work better, but overall profit is less because there just isn't the inventory. You just can't get as many impressions on those types of ads. But let's move on to responsive. Google more and more want to push their machine learning. And when that comes to ads, that means responsive display ads, where you get to write a few headlines, add a few images, write a few descriptions, and allow the machine then to mix and match all of the combinations of those. And we've seen over the past couple of years, impressions on MedRecs drop over time because Google is seemingly favoring the responsive ad. And so it then is going to decide how to put the image and the description and the headline and the call to action together based on the space available on that particular website. So yes, if you were cynical, you might say, well, that's just Google making more money. They're now able to put more ads in more places, get more clicks, make more money. They will say to you as an advertiser, yeah, that might be true, but it's better for you as an advertiser. We're showing your ads in more places, and more clicks generally leads to more revenue. The downside of responsive ad, you don't really get to control what it looks like at all. And some of the designs, some of the templates that they use, they say they're getting better, but some of them are really pretty ugly. We've had some clients refuse to use Google's remarketing, and we've had to go use something like Criteo, who have better looking ads purely just from a branding point of view, just because some of the Google ads look absolutely foul. And I wouldn't rush to use animated ads, but if you've got impressions on your regular static MedRecs or something like that, and you're getting really good results, then maybe you think about spending the money with a graphic designer to create animated versions of those ads. But I wouldn't rush to that. They can be very expensive to create HTML5 animated ads. But test these two first, because if you can't get any impressions with a static ad, you can go spend a bunch of money animating it and still not get any impressions. Okay, that's ad types. What about other networks then? Have you tested YouTube yet? If remarketing's working really well, maybe it's time, instead of going and spending money on an animated ad, maybe let's go create a video or three and test showing not videos to everyone, but just showing that video to people that are on your remarketing list. So only showing YouTube ads to your various remarketing audiences. Or what about Gmail or Discovery? They can be great in terms of the amount of traffic available there. Most businesses don't test them. I haven't seen any stats from Google, but just in terms of all the accounts that I've audited over the years, I see very, very few businesses making use of these other campaign types. There are various different types of YouTube ad. There's the in-stream, that's the pre-roll, those ads that play with a little skip button. You can skip them after 5 seconds. You don't pay until someone watches 30 seconds of your ad or clicks on something. Video partners, which is a little bit like search, like the search partner network over on the search side. You've got discovery ads, which are those ads down the right-hand side of YouTube. You've got this thing called outstream. There's a bunch of different types that you can try there, but start with in-stream. Start with 1 or 2 or 3 slightly different ads. Start with the bottom corner on your grid, the stuff most likely to be profitable. Added to cart, abandoned cart, last 7 days, something like that, and show that group of people one ad on YouTube and see what performance you get. If you are running YouTube ads elsewhere in your account, are you building lists from those ads? So you can build a list of everybody that has viewed your YouTube ad or your YouTube video as an ad. You can create a new remarketing audience from that. So maybe somebody's been on YouTube, watched your video, but they've never been to your site. Well, now we can show them a Google display ad to try and get them back to the site. Now it's obviously further up the funnel at this point. They maybe have never been to your site, but it's another group of people that we can go target. It's another behavior that we're able to target. And one of my favorites is this thing called RLSA, or remarketing lists for search ads. Badly named now because you can use it for shopping as well. But this is where you get to layer remarketing over the top of an existing search or shopping campaign. So you've gone to the trouble of creating all of these audiences. Because we're going to mix and match them with something else, now I would actually start to use a bigger, broader audience. So let's say we start with our all visitors last 30 days. But what if we layer that over the top of our shopping campaign and say, hey, let's bid 50% more. Somebody is searching for one of the products that we are selling. Our shopping ad is going to pop up. But if they have also not just been searching for that product, if they've also been to our website in the past few weeks, let's bid more for that person because we think they're more likely than the average person to buy. So it's a way of combining these two things and bidding even better, bidding appropriately for that group of people that are more likely to buy. And then very quickly, lastly, I talked about similar audiences when we were talking about buyers before. Have we tested similar audiences, starting with our best groups of people, the best types of behavior, build similar audience for those, test those, and then customer match, which is Google's really badly named email list marketing. So do you have a list of 50,000 people that you could load up into Google and say, let's show remarketing ads to that group of people or to people similar to that group of people, because you can do similar audiences for customer match as well. Right, in the next video, we'll run through our checklist and I'll give you a couple of resources.